Yamuna Tira Vanasari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna, am I audible and am I visible? You're muted, Shalika Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to His confounder Acharya, Divine Grace Shri Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Gora and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Professor Abhishek Prabhu, who has graciously accepted our invitation to speak today on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for being here with us. We will want to share a little bit of biodata, but we will do that later part of the class because devotees are just joining. There are not many people here. So
That's
we'll
fine.
leave introduction to later part of the class. So the setting is just like a normal, since you're speaking for the first time here, the setting is like normal Bhagavatam class. We'll share the text on the screen and you can recite, and but the participant will not be able to chant after you like normal class because of the echo of Zoom. And we're just listening to you recite the mantra, and if you wish to chant the synonymous also, that will be allowed. Then you read the purport, then you go to the class.
I have a second phone with all of that.
Okay, then that's fine. So thank you very much. So I'll share the screen and you can go ahead, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Esha hi ashesha sattvanam atmam sa paramatmanah adyovatar yatraso bhuta gramo vibhavyate. So continue with the synonyms. Eshaha, this. He, Certainly, Ashesha, unlimited, Satwanam, living entities, Atma, self, Amshaha, part, Paramatmanaha, of the Supersoul, Adyaha, the first, Avataraha, incarnation, Yatra, whereupon, Asau, all those, Bhutagramaha, the aggregate creations, Vibhavyate, flourish. Translation. The gigantic universal form of the Supreme Lord is the first incarnation and plenary portion of the Supersoul. He is the self of an unlimited number of living entities, and in him rests the aggregate creation, which thus flourishes. Purport. The Supreme Lord expands himself in two ways, by personal plenary expansion and separated minute expansions. The personal plenary expansions are Vishnu Tattvas, and the separated expansions are living entities. Since the living entities are very small, they are sometimes described as the marginal energy of the Lord. But the mystic yogis consider the living entities and Supersoul Paramatma to be one and the same. It is, however, a minor point of controversy. After all, everything created rests on the gigantic Virat or universal form of the Lord. So, what we can do is, I can unpack some of these terms and ideas. And in this group, if you are able to hear me, and can you please do a quick raise of hands and show that you're here? Like I'll just, I'll just put a little heart sign. Can you see how I'm putting the heart sign on Zoom? Okay, Madhu and Prabhu, I see your thumbs up, but the others that I cannot see, can you put a little reaction? Tell me you're here. I can see Gul. Thakur Murari Prabhu, thank you so much. I can see you. Thank you, thank you. This is Hare Krishna Africa. I don't know who the devotee is.
Yeah, devotees are spread across the globe.
Good.
I'm in Africa. Madhuvan Prabhu is in Africa. Some of the devotees are in the US, some are in India. They're all spread across.
So the word plenary means complete. That, for example, Shalika Prabhu could have given this class and it would have been perfect. But he has appointed me to speak on his behalf and he has given me complete authority. So that is plenary. Plenary means complete. So sometimes the Lord appears in his plenary form. That means the Lord is, the full energy of the Lord manifests. And sometimes the Lord manifests in a micro, like Anu form. And so those are the Jivatmas. But all of this is there in the Virat Rupa. Virat means the mountains that you witness are the bones of the Lord. The rivers are his veins. The ocean is his belly. The trees that you see around is the hair on his body. The sun and the moon are his eyes. In this way, just looking at nature, just looking at the universe around you, and anybody can do this. You don't need to be a devotee. You go out in a beautiful open space where there is no light pollution, and you look up to the stars, and you will see gorgeous dark night studded with stars, and you're filled with a sense of awe and wonder, right? You're filled with a sense of awe and wonder, and that is actually a divine experience. So you don't need to study Bhagavatam, you don't need to be a devotee. You can just look at the stars and the skies and the sun and the moon, and if you're appreciating the beauty, that is one way of looking at the Lord in his universal form. But it is not the complete experience of God. So once you have seen everything, you have experienced wonder in the world, you look within and you see that actually us, this body, the mind, this is actually a very magical machine. And, somebody must be monitoring it. So when you pay attention to that, the same thing you witness outside, the sense of wonder that you get when you look at the stars, you get that same sense of wonder and amazement when you look at the soul. So Krishna says, Ashcharyavam, Ashcharya, as the word that is, descriptive of the soul. The Ashcharya means wonderful. But then you come across so many characters in your life, right? How many characters, have you come across political characters, you come across characters in movies, you come across characters in literature, but then you come across this one character called Krishna. And Krishna boggles your mind. Krishna leaves you with the same sense of awe and wonder, but in a much more concrete form. And that is the experience of Bhagavan. So the experience of Bhagavan in the form of universe is Brahman. The experience of Bhagavan in the form of looking within you is Paramatma. And the experience of the same God in the form of a personality is, the personal, the intimate aspect of experiencing God. So this is the essence of this verse, that the universal experience and the personal experience are actually not that different, but we perceive it differently. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam tad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdate. So having shared that, I want to open up the floor for questions and answers. The Srimad Bhagavatam is in the form of questions and answers. So questions and answers is the way to study the Bhagavatam. I want to hear what questions you have. I promise you, I have no judgment. You can ask me anything you want, and I will try my best to respond to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for breaking down the when we talk about Krishna's manifestation, sometimes it's very difficult to comprehend, especially when the technical words like universal form, plenary portion, and personal plenary portion expansions are mentioned. It becomes very, very complex to a lay person who is not coming from the Vedic background. And I like the examples you gave from the beginning when you used an analogy of myself ask who's supposed to have spoken and they ask you. So it's a very big one. It makes it so simple and straightforward to understand for a layperson. Thank you very much for the approach.
Thank you.
Now talking about questions, dear devotees, this class is more of an open conversation in the form of Bhagavatam. So devotees, if you have any question, please kindly raise your hand and we'll call it to Madhavan Prabhu, please.
Yes, Madhavan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for giving us this lecture today. We are so much happy to see you, to have your association. So, my question is, if you focus on the purports today, the first definition was that the personal plenary expansion, their steps are different because Krishna expands in two ways. The personal plenary expansion, and then the separated minute expansions, which are the living entities. But maybe the third statement, it was said that, but the mystic yogis consider the living entities and the super soul Paramatma to be one and the same.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's a consideration that I think it needs a high level of explanation, because how you are equating something that is very minute with something that is very, very gigantic.
Mm.
So I think if you can shed more light on,
It's actually, if you think
that,
about it, Madhuvan Prabhu, Paramatma in you inspired you to ask that question, and the Paramatma in me inspired me to give this answer. Right? And so some people think that, they will ask, am I speaking or is the Paramatma influencing? So there they confuse. Our philosophy is Bheda Abheda, that at the same time we are one with and different from the Paramatma. And the example that is given by Jiva Goswami is that, there are sounds in any language called vowels. Like in the English language, there are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. Vowels are words that you can utter without touching any part of your mouth to another. Right? A, E, I, O, U. See, no part of your mouth is touching another. But when you say a consonant like B, C, F, right, some part of your mouth touches another part. Huh? So Jiva Goswami says that Krishna is like vowels and jivas are like consonants. Vowels can exist without consonants, but consonants cannot exist without vowels. Therefore, Krishna is independent, but within every living entity, there is a part of Krishna. Like there is a vowel within every consonant, there is God within every living being. So, are vowels independent? Yes. Are consonants independent? No. Huh? There is consonant embedded in a vowel. Now, if you say consonant and vowel is the same, then you are making a mistake. They have a relation where they are same and different at the same time. So that is the relation between living entities and God in Gaudiya Vaishnava theology.
but when you mention one and the same, you are equating the two. When you mention one and the same, it's like
Some
equating the two.
people mistake it to be the one and the same. And Prabhupada says in this purport that there is some minor controversy.
I think it's a major controversy.
Actually, there is no controversy. People who like controversy go to controversy. People who not. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that there are two kinds of people. I would translate his Vani as there are two kinds of people: flies and butterflies. Flies and butterflies. Flies will always go and seek out, shit. And butterflies will always go and seek out nectar. So controversy is like only flies are attracted to controversies. Some people cannot live without controversies. Their mind gets attracted to trash. So that's why trash exists in the world. But real Vaishnavas do not get attracted to controversy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Others have any questions? I see some new people coming.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if anyone has questions, please kindly ask. I'll ask a question for clarification. Okay, Govinda Prabhu, you want to ask a question? Go ahead. Govinda Prabhu.
Oh no, I just came in, Prabhu.
Yeah, Govinda Prabhu wants to darshan to us. Okay, it's very good.
Okay. Okay, I'll give the floor to Sahadev Prabhu then.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your depth of wisdom with us and making the Sangha more of questions and answers. Now,
The Bhagavad is questions and answers.
Yes, Bhagavatam is, yes. My question is, Prabhuji, the text states that this universal form is the first expansion of the Supreme Lord. Now, me being an African, and I know in Africa we have quite a number of people who approach the God, who approach the Godhead in this form as the universal form. They sometimes refer to themselves as animists. They see God in everything. They worship God in the mountains, in the caves, in the trees, in the ocean. But we understand in here that all those forms are the Supreme Lord. However, in the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna revealed his universal form to Arjuna, Arjuna was perplexed and he did not know exactly which of these forms to be worshipped. So he asked Krishna. And Krishna told him that this 200 form you see before you is the most ideal. Now, if that is the most ideal, why Krishna doesn't reveal that form all over the world, all over the universe? And then he makes this Virat form more conveniently acceptable by many others, when he knows that the 200 form is the best form to be worshipped.
Very good question, Sahadev Prabhu. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that Krishna reveals himself to individual jivas according to their capacity. And if there were a tribe of warriors, to them, God would be the ultimate warrior. If there were a tribe of fishermen, God would be the ultimate fisherman. So God means Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means the ultimate persona of divinity. Now, Arjuna, of course, had a personal experience with Krishna. Arjuna is fortunate because he saw Krishna as his friend. But not every entity is ready. Duryodhana also saw Krishna in his two-handed form. But it did not make any difference to him. And there are some people who are not ready for the personal aspect of God. But God is compassionate nevertheless. All Krishna wants, and you can go to Christianity and you will get the same answer. All Jesus wants is for souls to come back home, back to Godhead. This world is not our eternal home. It's like a bridge, but we try to build a house on a bridge. And when the house doesn't really work on a bridge, we wonder why this is happening. Why am I suffering? Why are things going wrong? So Krishna will come to each of us in our own way. Sometimes Krishna will come to somebody as a lion and rip their intestines out. Sometimes Krishna will come in the form of a tortoise. And think about it, Krishna loves to play. God loves fun. So sometimes, the arati you do in the temple, you wave fire lamp at Krishna. So Krishna is circulating sun around you. And so you play with Krishna by circulating a little ball of fire around Krishna. So puja means play. Krishna loves to play. And sometimes Krishna will play with somebody in the form of the universe. Sometimes Krishna will play with somebody in the form of their inner voice, like Kamsa. Do you think Krishna was worried about Kamsa's cruelty? Krishna knew very well that this is my devotee. This devotee is behaving badly. It is his role to behave badly in this Leela, and I will take care of this devotee myself. That is how Krishna looks at Kamsa. So for Krishna, Krishna is playing all the time. Krishna is enjoying. So sometimes Krishna enjoys by, putting somebody's mind so covered with nature that they are not able to appreciate Krishna. Sometimes Krishna will come as a person. Sometimes Krishna will slap you. Sometimes Krishna will kiss you. You have no control. And so you cannot dictate how Krishna is going to play with you. Krishna will play the way he wants with every living entity. And Shalik Prabhu, Sadhya Prabhu, this universe is very big. Srila Prabhupada put the cover of Srimad Bhagavatam to explain that we humans are under the illusion that there is no life anywhere else except for this planet. And Srimad Bhagavatam says the universe is teeming with life in species and shapes and forms that you cannot even imagine. There is life on Moon, there is life on Jupiter, there is life on Saturn. Just not the way you expect life to be, but there is life. There is consciousness. Consciousness always reveals itself through matter. So there is life on the sun, there are millions of galaxies, there is life out there. Every space is teeming with life. And Krishna is playing with every form of life in their own capacity, in their own bandwidth. Only because we humans have the ego to think that we are too special. That's why we think that, why is Krishna behaving like Krishna is not under our control. Krishna will play with anybody the way Krishna wants. Was I able to answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, you did, except that the answer again raised questions. And
it's meant to be like
okay. And one of such questions is, like you rightly said, of course, we hear from the scriptures that this particular Earth planet is just a very tiny, tiny point in the universal creation of the Lord. In fact, even in this our four-headed Brahma universe, our planet is very tiny. Now, the question could be, if this universe is so tiny, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this universe is calculated to be 40 billion miles. Now, if it is 40 billion miles, and our planet is so tiny, and we know the size of this Earth planet also, if you multiply the size, if you divide 40 billion by the size of our Earth planet, you get about 166,000 similar planets. And we understand that this planet is very, very small. But if even they should be the size of our planet, it would be about 166,000 of such. So if that is the case, why do we say they are unlimited? We cannot count.
Exactly. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapa. So Bhumi Vishwato Vitva Tatra Tishtata Sangulam in the Rig Veda. That this is not something you can count with your 10 fingers. Good luck. The word Maya. Ma means don't. And Ya means this. So don't try to measure this. When the moment you try to measure, you think you will be able to measure, good luck. You can measure some things for some time. But the scale and the width of this everything that we are in, it is immeasurable. Number of living entities are infinite. We are very small. We think we are going to understand everything. Good luck. It's not going to happen.
Well, I'm trying to be a devotee, so I accept whatever the scriptures say. But if we are speaking to a scientist, if we're speaking to astrophysicist, if we're speaking to someone with, excuse me, say material education, and if we say from our scriptures, this is the statement that the planets within this universe cannot be counted. Now, even material scientists are beginning to switch from universe to multiverse. So even if they believe that there are more than one universe as we sometimes understood it to be, and we are telling them that our planet, Earth planet, is like the smallest of all the planets within this universe. And if the size of this universe is given with a certain number of mileage, then that individual, that scientist, could take the size of our planet, make a division and multiplication, and get a number of similar sizes of planets that is within the universe. So for me, I will accept it as the scriptures say. But how do you explain to somebody else that is in the science field that you cannot?
I got the question. First of all, the answer to your question is in the book by Sanatana Goswami called Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which says that the universe that is depicted in the Bhagavatam is not necessarily entirely a material universe.
Okay.
Material universe, the knowledge of material universe that was there at the time of the composition of the Bhagavatam is used to portray what a spiritual universe looks like. And what does that mean? ব্রহ্মাণ্ড ভ্রমিতে কোনো ভাগ্যবান জীব গুরু কৃষ্ণ প্রসাদে পায় ভক্তিলতা বীজ. While wandering across the universe aimlessly, some fortunate living entity gets the seed of bhakti by the grace of Guru and Krishna. That seed has to grow into the plant of bhakti with the sunshine and water of hearing and chanting. And then our scriptures explain as the plant grows, it goes through the various planetary systems mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So, for example, Pitriloka is one realm of our universe where we are still identifying with our ancestry. And that identification with our ancestry will stop us from going or approaching Godhead. Brahmaloka is a realm of the transcendental cosmos where we experience identitylessness. So these are realms of the universe that you can travel even while you are embodied in this life right now. This is explained in the book by Srila Prabhupada called Easy Journey to Other Planets. So the material universe, the knowledge about the material universe, according to the methods of science, is never final. These astronomers are constantly, I talk to astrophysicists all the time. These people are constantly looking for new information, and that information is always changing. The purpose of the Bhagavatam is not to give a description of the material universe. That is not the aim of the Bhagavatam. The aim of the Bhagavatam is to help you on your journey into devotion. And in that journey into devotion, you can fall down in at least 14 different ways and experience tremendous psychological pain. You can experience hellish pain even living in this lifetime. Or you can keep growing your devotional creeper and it will go through all these planetary systems. And one day, it will blossom into a beautiful flower at the feet of Radha and Krishna. That is the purpose of describing the cosmological system in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. ABHISHEK.
Yeah, thank you. We have no reason to argue with any scientists. You know, the point is to not prove ourselves correct about the universe, but the point is to make them love Krishna, make them fall in love with Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that is very important. Helping each and every soul love Krishna again.
If our argument against them drives them against Krishna, then what's the point of all this planetary conversation?
Yeah.
Let them believe in whatever they want, but they can also love Krishna.
Yeah.
Chant the holy names.
I think we have Shrimavara Acharya Prabhu sent up. Prabhu, do you may unmute?
I didn't see any other hands, but please, yes, please go ahead.
Jai Hare Krishna, please accept humble obeisances. All the way to the Prabhu God. Please kindly tolerate the sound because I'm driving. Thank you very much for sharing with us and opening the door very quickly for questions to make it very proactive. First, a comment on Prabhu Sade's question, just a brief comment. We've already started answering that also in the way I was thinking about that this is material universe and the calculation you're talking about is material calculation. But we're living in a multi-dimensional universe. So it depends on what level you're talking about. That level you can measure is on one plane. That is the most difficult part of understanding this universe because it is multidimensional. It is not just on one plane. So your calculation is on a physical, but this is not our universe is not just a physical plane. There's so many dimensions, multi-dimensional levels. That is unlimited. You cannot phantom it. It's impossible. And a little understanding of even where you are at present and your interaction with different beings will amaze you to the point of understanding that what you call your own world is nothing in comparison to what really exists in this realm. So anyway, this is something very, very complex, but it's just understand that the calculation you're talking about is on physical plane, and it is not, it cannot measure, the different dimensions that are there. Okay, that's just my contribution. Then now my question rather, this is something that I will want. I know you, whatever answer you give, I will appreciate, but it is very I don't know how to say it, but let me just put the question through. So the scripture says that we should avoid dhyan and mysticism, on the part of bhakti, especially on the part of bhakti, which is okay, yes, because pure bhakti is to be to be without anything anyway. Now, but we find that again and again, people, like you talked when you were making your brief submission, you mentioned about how we become inspired about our perceptions, of things, of God in different levels, and that is exactly the point. This awe and marvel, that is what people enjoy in mysticism. That is what people appreciate in spiritual matters. When they are marveled and they are hurt by the other experiences that are possible and beyond our physical realm. That really makes people become more inspired to become spiritually inclined. So I'm just asking, do we really want to bring people through their experiences to God, or we just want them to accept it by faith? If it is
Yeah,
true
I think
experiences,
I
if it's
understand
true
what you said.
experiences, true experiences, you cannot avoid, taking them to the level of marveling at the wonders of God. But if it's just by faith, of course, yes, then we don't care. You just act about not. So that's my question. What do you say about that?
So I think there are two levels of mysticism. Krishna conscious experience is a mystical experience, number one. And that is something we look forward to have. But when you're talking about avoiding mysticism, that is basically mystical powers or experiences that are on the level of the mind but not the soul. Hmm? So that is also a form of mysticism, yogic mysticism. That means you perform yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, the eight limbs of yoga, and you can it's like having a LSD trip without having and without consuming it. Hmm? So I've never tried it, but I've heard. Some people say that you can experience these things by doing yoga, and it's just like an acid trip. I was like, oh, okay. I have no experience, so I cannot tell you, but I'm reporting. So that is the kind of mystical experience that we don't care about. That it's what is that mystical experience if it's just like a trip and you have to come down from it? Prabhupada gave us a system where you can stay high forever, right? And that is chanting the Mahamantra and experiencing a state of prema where tears falls from your eyes is also a mystical experience. And people are looking for experiences. You're correct. There is only so much philosophy you can talk. Unless you give people an experience, this philosophy is useless. It's just a intellectual gymnastics. Huh? So how do you give that experience? That experience, prasad. I mean, prasad is a great mystical experience. That food you eat and it changes the way you think. Isn't that mystical? Chanting is mystical. Association of devotees is mystical. These are strangers that become like family. You are like my family now, but I have never met you. Isn't this mystical? Hmm? So the process of bhakti is mystical anyway. We don't want to experience something separately. And the process, knowledge is important in bhakti. Otherwise, why are we talking right now? But knowledge is not the final goal. If you make knowledge your goal, then sooner or later you will be bored and you will be arguing with people. When I went to study Bhagavatam with a teacher in India from Sri Vaishnava tradition, he was a great scholar of Sanskrit, great professor. The first thing he told me is to remember Shabda Jala Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam Vidusham Vidya Tadvat Na Bhukte Na Cha Mukte. The web of words is a great forest, and it is the prime cause of the bewilderment of the mind. Therefore, the learning of scholars does not allow them to properly enjoy the world, nor does it let them become liberated. If you pursue knowledge, you will be stuck because there is no end to knowledge. Huh? If you pursue mysticism, you will have some little trips, but you have to come down. Bhakti is something much more substantial. It gives you a lifelong experience and very likely an experience after life also. Huh? Bodhacharya Prabhu, was I able to address your question?
Yeah, Prabhu. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Of course, like I said, whatever you said, I know that will be satisfactory because Bhakti, like you rightly said, is superior to everything. And we are learning how to submit our mind to Bhakti, right? We cannot pursue knowledge indefinitely. And like you rightly said, power also has its limit. But again, I agree with you, and I'm happy you rightly said that people want experience, and without experience, philosophy is just a dry talk. So people want experience. So that's it. We have to see how much experiences. we are able to give. You mentioned Prashad, you mentioned some devotional.
Kirtan Prasad Association.
Yes, yeah, an association. Yeah, good. Prabhu, just one, of course, I appreciate very well what you say, and it's true. However, there is something inside the Prabhu mentioned, when we're talking about universal form, and in African, milieu, here, that means a lot. Animism, they feel God in everything. They feel God in everything. But there is something else which I'd like to share here.
Yeah.
And that is another level of spirituality in Africa, which uses sound, words, which become like law. Like they understand certain laws of the nature, and when they repeat that, then it is a command that makes things happen immediately, like this. So that is another science. That is kind of science, spiritual science, which creates wonder and marvel. And people hold. I mean, they're like those who know this science. They're like brahmanas in their own tradition, and people hold them at a high esteem. There's no way you can play around with them. People worship them like brahmanas because they just use words, repeating certain natural laws, how nature functions, and it has effect immediately on anything they want. So this kind of science, it helps to appreciate God. It helps to appreciate another reality of life. And in Krishna consciousness, that's why I'm saying that we are saying don't mix Gyan and mysticism with bhakti. But because people need experiences, and when they're seeing this kind of experiences elsewhere, they continue to think that people on the path of bhakti are not as spiritual. Even in India, this. There are so many yogis who do a lot of wonderful things, and people still think that bhakti is some sentimental thing. So that is my little worry that until our brahmanas in ISKCON or in Krishna consciousness begin to also have some impact on people through some spiritual experience, we may find many people coming and going and not feeling that they are into something spiritual.
What is your
That's my
solution?
last submission. that is you're right. You tried to corner me, Prabhu. Fantastic. Anyway, if I have a solution, I will not bring it up as a question. But you see, my guru, Bhakti Maharaj, before he left this planet, he created an institution. He called it Institute of Applied Spiritual Technology. And I think it meant a lot, even though whatever that institute achieved or not, that's another question. But the intention behind that institute, something that means that we need to apply, whatever we are teaching. We have to have impact on people based on the application of our teaching. So that is the line I'm thinking. Thank you.
No, thank you. No, I think you are spot on. See, the world is pretty big. There are almost 8 billion people now, and there cannot be one formula that feeds everybody. So Krishna consciousness has to adapt to various circumstances, various people, without compromising core principles. Core principles are mentioned in the book Dashamula Tattva by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It is very clearly explained in Prabhupada's books. So you cannot go wrong. You may agree with Prabhupada, you may disagree with Prabhupada, but you can never misunderstand Prabhupada. Prabhupada is very clear about what he says. Right? So as long as we are clear about that, we are good. And I have the deepest respect for Bhaktitirtha Swami. In fact, a lot of the work I do, it takes after him. Thank you for sharing. Any other questions? We have about 10 minutes left.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have this question. We understand that Lord Brahma sprouted out of the transcendental navel of Lord Vishnu.
Mm.
The first question is the umbilical cord from Lord Vishnu connected to Lord Brahma still connected or disconnected? And the reason I'm asking this question is because if it's still connected, then it means Lord Brahma is almost the same as fetus still in the womb of his mom.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So
you have to first understand the whole imagery. But continue, please.
Okay, so if whether it is connected or not connected, the second question to that, the second part to this same question is that we know the Srimad Bhagavatam does not give us the stories in chronological order.
Say that again. Who gave us the story in chronological order?
I said the Srimad Bhagavatam does not give us stories in chronological order.
Correct.
So there was a time Lord Brahma had a lusty desire after his own daughter, but we understand that Brahma is different from this particular Brahma we know of. Now, this Lord Brahma we know of is understood to be Lord Vishnu himself. If it is Lord Vishnu himself, then why would he come out of the navel of Lord Vishnu and be confused, didn't know what is to be done, what is not to be done? Or this Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, is different from the Lord Brahma that sprouted out of the navel of Lord Vishnu.
So what is your answer? I have answered, but what is your answer?
I am thinking, it's not an answer, but my speculation is that the Lord Brahma that came out of the navel of Lord Vishnu is not the current Lord Brahma we have. Because if I've read, I can't quote it now, but I've read where Srila Prabhupada said, this very current Brahma is Lord Vishnu. It's a Vishnu Tattva, it's not a Jiva Tattva. So I'm thinking that the Lord Brahma that sprouted out of the navel of Lord Vishnu is not the one we currently have in our universe. That's my speculation.
You're on the right track. You have to first understand the whole imagery. Imagery, in the sense why Shastras explain with the words. The word vish means to enter in Sanskrit. Vish means to enter or pervade. Vishnu means one who enters or pervades everything. Okay. The word Ananta means eternity. So Vishnu that pervades everything is in a state of yogic samadhi, laying on eternity, floating in an ocean of causes or potential, Karana ocean, served by Sri or wealth, abundance. And Vishnu, in a sense, is above gender. Therefore, from Vishnu's umbilical cord comes the womb of lotus-like residence of Brahma. In the darkness when Brahma arises, and this is not, you have to study this for at least good 20-30 years with all the commentaries before you can come to this conclusion. But I'm giving you a shortcut. You can accept it, or you can do the research yourself and find out. So in the darkness, when Brahma is completely in bewilderment, he doesn't know why he exists. He just has begun to exist. He hears the word ta pa ta pa ta pa ta pa. Ta pa is what is the sound of the heartbeat. Like a child hears in the womb. When a child appears in the womb, the child does not know what the child is doing and where it is, what is happening. But the child hears one. First thing he hears is that heartbeat. The experience, the vibration of the heartbeat is tapa. As Brahma begins to meditate on the tapa, then everything else gets manifest. Now, Brahma is the same and different from Vishnu. Vishnu, when touched by Rajaguna, is Brahma. Vishnu, touched by Tamaguna, is Shiva. Just as milk touched by bacteria becomes yogurt, and milk touched by lemon becomes paneer. Similarly, Vishnu touched by Rajaguna is Brahma, and Vishnu touched by Tamaguna is Shiva. They are the same and different at the same time. They are not different, but they are different. Huh? So in Rajaguna, the thing is, the authors of the Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasdev and Shukadev Goswami, could have hidden all of these things. They chose to share these things with the audiences. They chose to share it because you will be thinking about it. That even Brahma, who is the creator of the universe, is not above lust. So you, dear ordinary human being, don't think that you are bigger than Brahma. Whether this Brahma, that Brahma is irrelevant. The fact is, even Brahma can come under lust towards his own daughter. And therefore, one must be extremely careful, because this is one thing that can destroy your reputation in the world. Most reputations, whether you're a corporate guy or a spiritual guru or politician, most reputation get destroyed because of money and sex. And so this is a warning from the Bhagavatam. It doesn't matter previous Brahma, next Brahma, 10 Brahmas back. It is that even your ancestor, Lord Brahma, original Acharya, who is as good as Lord himself, but touched by Rajagun, can come under the spell of Maya. So don't think yourself too strong. That is my conclusion. Does that make sense?
Oh, very much, so much. Lots of sense, yes. I was sharing with some devotees. One time I was going for book distribution, and my temple leader sat me down and advised me that two things: don't ever forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna. And I said, I think there must be a third caution also. And I myself included, and be wary of Maya. So I think sometimes and oftentimes we are not very much afraid of Maya, but Maya can give each and every one of us a dirty slap. So thank you for sharing that.
More than afraid of Maya, we have to be vigilant. See, just like there is illicit sex, there is also licit sex. Licit sex means responsible sex. The 4 pillars of dharma is satya, which is integrity, truthfulness, honesty. Second pillar of dharma is saucha, which is cleanliness, hygiene, purity. The third pillar of dharma is tapa, which is endurance, resilience, austerity. And the fourth pillar and the most important pillar of dharma is daya, which is empathy, compassion, and non-violence. So these, whenever there is sex without these 4, it is illicit sex. Whenever sex is there with dharma, then it is licit sex. And we should have as much licit sex as possible according to the Bhagavatam to create progeny. Illicit sex means you have sex with somebody which is dishonest, satya, which is unhygienic, unclean, which is manipulated, which is done without austerity, and which is inconsiderate or cruel, or not compassionate. This is illicit sex. And then, sex is the ultimate weapon of Maya because it is nature's trap. But when you take responsibility, you know that you're not manipulating this person, you're not lying, you're not, you paid your dues, then it is okay. Maya can come in other forms also. People who have loaded pockets suddenly think themselves as God. That is also Maya. And I'll finish with one story that Tamal Krishna Maharaj, my spiritual master, is to tell us. That one day Srila Prabhupada called him, made him the temple commander, but then he called him and he says, "Can you bring the Srimad Bhagavatam?" He said, "Yes." So the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada pointed out and said, this cover represents the spiritual world. And 1/4 of this is the material world. And within the material world, there are innumerable universes, and we are in just one small one, medium size. And within every universe, there are innumerable galaxies, and we are in an average sized galaxy with a medium sized star, which only has 9 planets. And this planet has 7 continents and a few countries. And these countries, there is a city called Los Angeles. And in that city, there is one road called La Cienega Boulevard. And in that, there is one Hare Krishna temple. And the commander of that Hare Krishna temple thinks that he is the Lord of the universe. So Prabhupada chastised my spiritual master that way. That you think you are the boss of the universe? You're so small, don't forget. So thank you so much, Shalika Prabhu, for organizing this. And thank you. Tomorrow I realized I'll be flying out from Calcutta to Mumbai. I have been on a constant travel schedule. Sometimes it's 4 cities in a day. Sometimes, different bed every night. But I have dedicated my life to the Sankirtan mission, and Krishna utilizes me however he wants. So sometimes I'm not able to, keep commitments unless it is done early in advance. But yesterday, after you send that notification, then somebody who looks at my schedule says, "Hey, you will be on a flight at that time." So I immediately said, "Okay, I can give you a recorded video or I can do a live session a day before." So thank you for your flexibility and for allowing me to engage with all of you. I've never been to anywhere in South Africa, but I want to go there someday. I want to experience, and maybe Krishna will make it happen.
Now, Prabhuji, before you go to South Africa, go to West Africa.
Where in West Africa?
There are so many places
Ghana,
to in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Burkina Faso, Chad.
I only go to places where I have long-term service and I have a community of devotees who are aligned with whatever I'm doing.
So again, this will be sent to you.
Yeah.
And my request is that you read it and think about it and be prepared.
Thank you very much, Professor ABHISHEK.
At our next meeting.
Before I made the promise before we started the class that when the devotees are joining, Sadi Prabhu, can you read the bio and then you take it off?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me do this.
Doctors on this topic. And I made some light edits, just organizing it and shortening.
There is an audio coming from someone's background. Is it from?
Yes. So sorry for that. As usual, I'm always multitasking.
All right. So, dear devotees, please, and His Grace, Dr. ABHISHEK, GHOSH Prabhu, please excuse us and just spare us a minute of your busy time. We would definitely love to share a little bit of Prabhuji's bio with you all, dear devotees. And just like Prabhu said, we almost were not going to be able to have Prabhuji's association today, but somehow Guru Krishna and Prabhuji made it happen. So Prabhuji, like he said, is a very busy individual. He plays a very important role in a glorious organization called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And somehow Prabhuji was able to make it to be with us today. So Prabhuji, let me see. Salika sent me the bio. Let me see where it is.
Are you finding difficulty to find it?
Yeah, I think you should do it, Prabhuji. I would have loved to do it, but
so
I can't
dear devotees, I would like to introduce to you Professor ABHISHEK Ghosh, who is speaking on our Education of Africa platform for the first time, and as our tradition, we'd like to introduce our guests for the first time. I'll read the bio here, and it read thus. Professor ABHISHEK Ghosh currently serves as the Dean of Faculty for Dharma Studies at Somaya Vidyavihar University, Mumbai. His leadership is marked by a commitment to preserving and promoting India's rich spiritual heritage, while encouraging critical inquiry and dialogue among scholars. Prabhu's research specialization is in Vaishnava traditions, and he serves as the director of the Institute of Vaishnava Studies, a degree-granting research organization in Gainesville, USA, recognized by the Commission for Independent Education, Florida, Department of Education. He is an expert in South Asian religions and philosophy, focusing on the preservation and translation of classical texts to make them more accessible to wider audience. Prabhu is also served as the senior editor of the Journal of Vaishnava Studies, the longest-running academic journal in Hindu studies in the Western world. Prabhu's research interests include Indian epics, yoga, and meditation, and his expertise in these areas has led him to represent Indian Security Council Reform Interest at the United Nations in December 2023 on behalf of the Permanent Mission of India, New York. Since 2005, Professor Ghosh has spoken at various forums and cultural events representing Hinduism and India or Bharat. He has taught at various universities and was a tenure-line professor at Grand Valley State University, Michigan, and an award-winning instructor at the Graham School of General Studies at the University of Chicago, where he taught Asian Classic. He is also active in interfaith engagement, serving as a board member of the Society for Hindu-Christian Studies, USA. He has contributed numerous articles and book chapters in various scholarly and public intellectual publications. He received his master's and PhD degree in South Asian languages and civilization from the University of Chicago in 2014. Following a master's of studies in theology and religious studies from Oxford in 2006. In recent time, during the celebration of the did a research work which he presented, which linked the Indian the Vedic text, which is actually the glorification of Lord Krishna. Maybe after this class, I'm going to share.
Well, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Salika Prabhu, are you back?
Sorry, my network chooses a bad time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's going off.
Yeah, my network chooses a bad time to go off. So This is Professor Abhishek Ghosh, Prabhu, who is speaking with us. And we are very honored and glad to have him here. And we hope and pray that despite his busy schedules, once in a while, he will spare time to come back to us and share with us. I personally love the presentation today because of his interactive nature. It gives devotees to be able to express them. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Shalik Prabhu, I can recommend more speakers to you.
I would really appreciate that, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Please take care.
Yeah, okay. So I'll connect with you on WhatsApp and then we can share.
Take Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Dr. Abhishek Prabhu, like Salika Prabhu was saying, expressing, we cannot express our gratitude to you enough because we are very much privileged to have your association. But this forum is called Hare Krishna Africa. And one thing with us is that we are kind of greedy. We are very greedy. And because of this greedy attitude, we are satisfied but not satiated with the association today. Therefore, we would love to have the association more and more in the near future. But we understand your itinerary, we understand how busy you are, but we're hoping and praying that somehow Krishna and the gods will arrange that we'll have the association someday very soon. And thank you, Prabhuji, and safe trip from Calcutta to Mumbai or Mumbai to Calcutta?
Mumbai to Florida.
Oh, to Florida? Oh, okay. Beautiful.
I live in Florida, so I'm going to go back.
Oh, you live in Florida. Okay, beautiful. We hope you could, since you love Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj so much, we have his 20th year disappearance anniversary in Gidanagri in June, late June. If you're still around and you may want to stop by, that would be awesome. So we may see you in person. All right.
I'll try. Send me the invitation. I'll try.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so on this note, we request all of the devotees to please kindly unmute themselves. Let us loudly chant a loud Hare Krishna mantra to appreciate Professor Abhishek Ghosh for this wonderful association.
Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarvishta Prabhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.
Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai.
All praise to His Grace, Dr. Abhishek Ghosh Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
All praise to Jagat Guru Param Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai Jai Jai.
All the Vaishnavi devotees ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.